looking at the opposite, really, of perfect competition, looking at monopolies now. So setting up the diagram for a monopoly, the word mono, or the part of the word meaning one, so there's one producer in this market, and if we put cost slash revenue slash price there, and output along the side. Now, because there's only one producer in this market, the firm is the industry. So with most industries, we know they face a downward sloping demand curve. A bit wonky, that one. But this will be the demand curve faced by the firm because they are the individual, they are the market. Unlike with perfect competition, where they were just a small element of the market, so they had perfectly elastic demand curve. The monopoly has downward facing demand curve or downward sloping demand curve, and this means that they are a price maker. They have control over the price. So we know that demand is average revenue. Now, because demand is downward sloping on this one, you're going to find that marginal revenue is not going to be the same as the demand curve. Marginal revenue is going to have usually twice the gradient of your average revenue curve. Now, you could draw your average cost curve anywhere within this diagram, but if you draw it above the average revenue curve, the monopoly will be making a loss. So I'm going to draw it here, and that's my, sorry, I think I said average revenue before, I meant average cost curve. And we know that marginal costs have to intersect at that lowest point there, that midpoint. So there we go. My lines are all a bit wonky today. Sorry about that. So that's the setup, the basic setup of the diagram, but then we need to establish some key points. So a monopoly, like all of the firms that you'll probably look at, unless you're doing an essay on the different objectives that firms might have, a monopoly will be a profit maximizer. So where marginal cost equals marginal revenue, this is the output that they're going to produce at, and we need to go upwards until we hit that average revenue curve or demand curve, and this will be the price that they charge in that market. Okay, where it goes through the average cost curve, if you go to the side there, this top box now is what we call supernormal profit or abnormal profit, depending on which term you use. So the whole box represents the revenue that the monopoly receives. The bottom box, this one here, represents the costs to the firm, which also include normal profit. So, you know, they're still paying the owner the profit that keeps them in the industry, but that top box there is above the amount earned above normal profit, so supernormal profit. So more than enough to keep this firm in the industry.